So I finished the first 3 books from the Stormlight Archive, which are Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, and Oathbringer, and I'm about to start Rhythm of War. I thought maybe at this point it will be nice to make some kind of midpoint video discussion about the Stormlight Archive, where I want to say certain things that I like about these books. So if you're a fan of these books and you want to talk about them, let's do it. And then I will do another shorter video where I will talk about things I maybe don't like so much. But I want this to be a separate video, because if you don't want to listen to me nitpicking and talking about things that are a little bit more negative, just don't watch it. Yeah. But all in all, I am now totally a fan of this series. I really enjoyed it. You see, I even bought some of the figurines. I also have Yasna and Shallan, but they're somewhere out there. So let's talk about what is so great about these books, right? I think the best things about these books are the characters. I really like the characters. This is a fantasy world, and it's very easy in such a big fantasy complex world that the story and the world building can become like the main character. They can drive everything, and like the main conflict may become like the driving force. But I think in this case, the driving force are the characters. One of the things I didn't expect from these books is that each character will have so much trauma and so much inner conflict and so much turmoil in them. And each of those characters has really big problems. Like Shallan has a split personality. Dalinar did some horrible things. Kaladin has a lot of issues to resolve. They're all very complex, and I guess their journey will be very long because those problems don't get so easily resolved. And also the characters are still trying to do their best. They're still trying to help others. They're trying to do the right thing, or they're just trying to be in service of something. So they have this heroic side to them, but they also fail at times, and they also struggle, and their struggle is very relatable, especially Kaladin. I felt so deeply for him. I was so invested in his journey. Also, we have a lot of side characters which are interesting and endearing. So yeah, this is like the main attraction point for me in the story. Then number 2, I think, is the plot. What I mean by the plot is everything that is happening. The battles, the conflicts, the twists and turns. I like how everything is coming together. Endings are so epic and emotional and interesting. And you have this satisfaction. Like when you finish each book, it leaves you in this, at least for me, it leaves you as so emotional and so, there's so many thoughts and emotions, and so much has happened. And the ending is not just a big battle that is exciting. You're not just worried who's gonna live or die. Here you have more than life and death. You have their honor and their principles are sometimes at stake. The inner battle their inner battles are sometimes mixed with the external battle. For example, when Bridge 4 made this sacrifice to this decision to help Dalinar, that was such a cool thing. Then Dalinar giving away his sword for them, that was such a cool thing. And then Kaladin going to help Adolin in this tournament. And then all these moments are like, wow, when Kaladin regained his honor and he went to fight with Zed. Oh, this is so cool. I like that the plot always keeps me interested. The payoff is always emotional and cleverly done. The logic of action is good. It's just interesting things happen, because sometimes you can have interesting characters and then almost nothing happens with them. But here you have the action, the plot points, and everything is kind of works together well, like character, plot, and the world. The world building is really good. The world really feels alive and feels very different and unique, and then I like the magic, if I can call it like that. That it's quite different from other things I've read. I like the idea of the stormlight and how people can use it, the idea of the spren, the interaction between, for example, each character and their sprint and how this sprint is different, and there is always so much more to learn. Like you feel like you figure it out and then there's something new coming, so you keep guessing what's gonna happen and or what is the truth about this. I like exploring the backstory of the characters. So all these things are quite cool. And also I like the day of the storms. Everything feels so atmospheric. I was imagining it as anime. I don't know why, because I feel like if you make this series into an anime, it's a good way to represent it maybe better. I mean, of course live action would be the best, but anime and just art has a particular appeal to it. I don't know, sometimes less realistic could be more impactful than realistic. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind this to be live action, but it has to be done well, like with a lot of money and big budget, otherwise it might suck. I like how each character have different abilities. I think Shallan abilities are very interesting. Also, I like the way how the sword can appear and disappear as they wish, which is fun. I like the variety of characters. I like that we can see the perspective of different sides, like when we see the Parshendi and we see the main characters. So at this point, I really enjoy the series. I think my favorite book maybe is the Words of Radiance, but I do really like the ending of Way of Kings. This ending, I will forever remember it, and even if I don't enjoy the next two books, I don't care. Just having this experience, it's worth it. And my favorite characters, I think it's hard to say. At the beginning I really liked Kaladin, then I really liked Zed. Adolin grew on me, so at this point it's hard to say. I'm fond of them all. Like, I have a very soft spot for Dalinar. I mean, he's done a lot of terrible things, but I like that about him. I like how he carries that burden, and I like that he's this kind of a person who has done terrible things but can still choose different direction. I even like characters like Navani and Yasna that maybe we don't spend enough time with, but there's the little time we spend with them, it's enough to make me like them. I like Renarin, and I really hope we get to see more of him because I just feel so bad for him. I feel like he's so interesting, the way he's struggling with fitting in and with everything. I feel like it will be interesting to know more about him. I just like all of them in a different way. I like when they question certain things and discuss certain topics. It feels kind of inspirational to read about some of them. Also comforting sometimes, especially if you can relate to them, because I can relate to them in different ways. I can relate to Kaladin sometimes. I can relate to Shallan sometimes. Yeah, I mostly can relate to Kaladin and Shallan because I don't have Dalinar's problems, thankfully. Even if I can't relate to Dalinar, I still sympathize with him and I still feel his pain, and don't think there is any character I hate here. Of course, there was Sidious and Amaram, but they got what they deserved. Sidious, he was a snake. He was like a terrible person. I didn't really hate him with a passion. I just he was disgusting. But yeah, Amaram, you want to hate him because he treated Kaladin so badly, but at the same time you see that he was doing these things because he thought this is right. Like he was not a hateful person. Like he was just doing what he was doing because he thought that's the right thing. I feel like I didn't hate him, but I didn't like him neither. I don't think this story has a person that I love to hate. You know, there is no Joffrey here, like Game of Thrones, somebody like that. I don't hate the Parshendi, for example. Like the Fused, they're weird and scary and I don't like them, but the Parshendi themselves, I don't hate them. I don't want them to kill our heroes, of course. I would prefer everybody to live in peace. So yeah, I like Zed because I don't relate to him, but he's a very tragic, conflicted character, and he's so mysterious, and I love his sword. I like how he talks with his sword. I love the dynamic. I would love to read more about him, so I'm looking forward to that in Wind and Truth. I liked Bridge 4. Each of them is interesting character. Muash, I don't like him anymore. Actually, I never liked him, to be honest. I didn't know why Kaladin felt so close buddy with him. He always felt a bit to me, but now I like him even less. But again, I don't really hate him so much because I understand why he ended up the way he ended up. I think I like that thing about this story, that nobody is like a pure evil, that everyone is just reacting according to their situation. So not everybody can be heroic. Some people just mess up. So yeah, that's it. Now I'm going to go and record a video about the little things that maybe didn't work for me so well. And if you're interested in that, you can go see it. If it's not on the channel, it means I'm still editing it, because editing takes me forever. Do you like the Stormlight? What is your favorite thing about it? I just like the way it transports me in a different world. Okay, that's it. Bye!